What's up, YouTube? Simply Cash back with another Simply review, or should I say, Mr. Real Gold Chain Gamer. I mean, they got this one dude up on the internet, YouTube. He calls himself the Gold Chain Gamer. Like, when you make a review, you can't get mad if someone does not like what you're saying, or not necessarily don't like what you're saying, just disagree with what you're saying. That's all it is. So, Mr. Gold Chain Gamer, aka Mr. Green Neck Gamer, look, dude, don't get mad if I didn't agree with you. It's okay. We all not gonna agree. But back to my video. What I have today is a comparison or a review of the Astro C40. The Astro C40 versus the Razer Raiju versus, I guess you could say, the Scuf Vantage, and also the Scuf before the Scuf Vantage. I forgot what it was called, but I had both of them. I had the Vantage, and this is the box I sold it to my friend, the one that's shaped like this. I forgot the name of it. If someone remember the name of it, just put it down in the comment section below. But what I have for you today on hand is these two controllers, which is, I would say, the two best controllers on the market. Well, not this one. I lied. I would say two of the better controllers on the market. To me, this one is the best controller on the market. This one, I don't know. Let's just see why. I already made a video of saying why I rather this controller, but let me tell you some more of the things that I experienced with this controller. Recently, I had to ship this controller back off to Razer because it was starting to have that dead, the drift issue. Like, that's what I had with the Scuf Vantage. I had the Scuf Vantage, and that one had the drag issue. Well, drift issue is when your thumbstick is just randomly going down. And then they had a couple of dead zone issues. Like, every now and then, the controller would just stop working for like a split second. But something I notice is when I'm in Bluetooth mode with this controller, it's a lot easier. It's not a lot easier. It's like those issues do not happen. But when I plug it in, when I'm playing directly connected, those issues transpire. Like, I don't know what's going on, but if you do so happen to have this controller and you're experiencing those issues, and you have your controller directly connected to your PlayStation, try using it in Bluetooth mode and see if you're still having the same issues. All right, with the comparison between these controllers, let's start off, since I have both of them in hand, the size difference. Like, this controller is wide and it feels stupid in my hand. When I first grabbed this controller out of the box, I was just like, man, it feels weird in my hand. So I had to play with the controller for a couple of days for me to legit get used to it. But that's how it is with any controller. That's how the new PlayStation controller was when it first came out. That's just how the Xbox controller was when it first came out. Well, the Xbox controller, and you get my drift. But it took a couple of days. It took a lot longer for me to get used to this controller vice this controller. And the Gold Chain Gamer was saying, that Gold Chain Gamer dude was saying, arguing with me, or stated that this controller, the Astro C40, had the same quality. Let me just retrace my steps. Let's go back to the comparison of the size of the controller. So, as you can see, this controller, it's just white. Like, I don't know what it is, but this controller just, it's a bigger, wider controller. And it just feels stupid in my hand. I don't know what it is. I just don't like how it feels. So if I had to give, a grade on, how it fits in your hand, I would give this, like, to me, it's just my opinion, I would give this like a 9.5, because I still feel as though this controller, my Xbox controller, had the best legit feel in hand. This one has the best. This one has the best fit in hand. This one, it feels the best in my hand. This controller right here. The quality of this controller, I mean, I can't say quality is subjective. When you like the controller, it's subjective. But, I mean, whether you consider a controller as the best is subjective. Quality, that is like, this controller quality is better than the quality of this controller. And that's the one thing that the Gold Chain Gamer dude was saying, that this controller has some outstanding quality. No, it doesn't. It has outstanding quality in comparison to what? A Scuf? Yeah, Scuf quality of the controller feels cheap. I mean, I would say, yeah, it feels better than that. But you can't compare this controller quality to an Elite controller quality. The Elite controller quality was the standard. But this controller quality of the feel, the build, is better. Like it feels a little bit heavier than this controller. And I don't know if you can correlate heaviness to quality, or maybe you can, because at that point is the materials used as far as quality, right? So that's how I try to look at it as far as the quality between the two controllers. Just, you know, it's also a nicer looking controller. I don't know if you into like flashy things. Got the little RBG lighting up on this controller. It makes it stand out. Other things about this controller, you have mechanical buttons. Like, if you can hear that, it's like you can actually hear it click. Vice this controller, it's, I don't know, it just feels plastic. Doesn't make sense because all of the buttons are plastic, but the materials just feel different. Like this one, I would say it feels like the texture of the Elite controller, which is like more of a slippery feel. Vice this one feel more of a, I'm not gonna say a rubber, more of a rubber. Like rubber, if anyone ever had some like race car tires that's sticky, that's what this feels closer to, but a little slippery, if that makes any sense. So this material actually felt better in my hand. Another thing that I hated was this lip of the triggers. Like that junk is so aggravating. Like it'll be moments where my fingers aren't right there. So like, I don't know why I do this when I'm playing Call of Duty. I always do this. I don't know why, but you can feel this lip right here and it's aggravating. If I have to rate this controller on quality from a scale from 1 to 10, this one will be a 7.5, and this will be a 10. That's just my opinion. So back to what I was saying with these two controllers. I went over the quality, feeling hand, like everything. I'm just going off the list. This one's wins. The one thing I will say this controller wins at is connectivity as far as through Bluetooth. I had connected. God, I got a friend just keep sending me requests for a game up on PlayStation. Connectivity. Once you connect, it comes with a little dongle. Let me show you. It comes with this little dongle that you just plug in, bam, and you're connected. You just swap it to Bluetooth mode. Right here, you just swap it to Bluetooth mode and you connect it. Bam, no problem. With this Razer Raiju, you need your default controller to help select it. What you'll do is swap it to Bluetooth mode. You'll hold this button and this button until it starts flashing. There's going to be a solid blue just flashing fast. And you use your other controller to pop it up. One positive with this controller through Bluetooth connectivity is you can turn your PlayStation on and off. You can't with this one. So if you're lazy, when you're spending $200 or above up on a controller, you would hope that it can do everything with your PlayStation as if it was a regular controller. And that's the another drawback from this controller. Not only does it feels like legit, I legitimately think it feels the same weight as the regular PlayStation controller. Probably a tad heavier, just a tad heavier. All right, so feel in hand, quality. Nah, I didn't check it out. I did. I don't know. I don't know if I checked it out. The one positive thing is that I had swapped it back. Look at how I said. I had swapped the analog stick from right here to there because I always did rather the feel of the Xbox controller. But after playing with this one for so long, I just think the symmetry is nice. That, you know, both of your fingers will be right here and you move them up like that. I got used to it. So all in all, if I had to give this controller a grade, let's say if you get one of these with no problems, this controller can be a 10. It legit can. Another positive about this controller is it has an extra 2 customizable buttons that this one doesn't have. I already went over all of this stuff about this controller in a separate video. If you want to check it out, go check that video out. But when it just comes down to playing a game and the controller feeling right up in your hand, this one heads over heels. Like, I think this regular PlayStation controller feels better in my hand than this one. Like, look at it in comparison to regular PlayStation controller. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm taking this controller right back to GameStop after I'm finished recording this video. I would even recommend the Scuf Vantage controller over this one. I just don't like the feel of this controller, and it's big and stupid. It's not funny. If you have any questions, just mention that down up in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to your boy channel. All right, I'm out. Peace. One other thing I wanted to mention about the controllers being connected via Bluetooth. The Razer Raiju, when you connect it via Bluetooth, you can actually see the battery power. You can't see that with the Astro C40. So that's another thing that I want you to consider when you're spending $200 up on a game. I'm about to say a gaming headset, on a gaming controller. You want to have all that engraved into the controller. I don't know, me personally, I don't know how you would know the better life of the controller. Other than, when you hit the PlayStation button and it comes up. That's the only way I know personally how to see the better life of a controller. Again, that's more of a reason why I say the Razer Raiju is a better overall controller than the Astro C40. All right, that was just a one edit thing I had to. I don't know if I'm gonna edit it in at the end. You know what? I'm gonna just put it in the end. All right, peace.